The New York morning hasn't fully dawned yet. The streets are a little quiet. And it's in this quiet moment that Savannah Guthrie's day begins. From the outside, everything seems settled. A set routine, a big name, and a familiar voice at a powerful venue like the Today Show, listened to by millions every morning. Her presence in front of the camera is always poised. No noise, no rush, as if everything is under control. But in early 2026, this quiet rhythm of life is suddenly shattered. Her mother, Nancy Guthrie, mysteriously disappeared. Strange clues from the home escalated the matter. The local police, as well as the FBI, became involved in the investigation. The case became more than just a disappearance. It began to be viewed as a possible kidnapping. And at that moment, with all eyes on her, so Savannah stepped away from the cameras, decided to step back from the most important stage of her career and be with her family. This raises a big question. Where does true authority come from? Is it built solely on fame or on years of discipline and inner strength? Because what's seen on screen isn't the whole story. Today, we'll try to understand that part of that story. The one that unfolds behind the camera, not in front of it. And as this story progresses, you'll realize that true power lies not in voice, but in stability. Before continuing with the video, please subscribe to the channel to be the first to see such videos. Savannah Guthrie's story doesn't begin with a glamorous beginning, but rather a fairly ordinary one. Her childhood wasn't one where a path to media or fame was predetermined. She grew up in a family that prioritized stability, education, and hard work. Her family's background was quite humble. No major public recognition, no media connections. This is why her journey was forged on its own. His early education began to shape his thinking. From childhood, he had a passion for reading and understanding. He gradually developed a knack for looking at things in depth, not just superficially. This habit later became his greatest strength. During college, he enrolled at the University of Arizona and began studying journalism. It was there that he first gained a true understanding of the media world. He learned that news isn't just something to be reported. It's just as important to understand and interpret it correctly. But his story didn't go smoothly. After completing his journalism studies, he made a decision not typically made by those entering the media. Instead of heading straight to the newsroom, he chose to study law. To this end, he enrolled at Georgetown University Law Center and earned a Juris Doctor degree. Law school further strengthened his thinking. There, he explored subjects such as constitutional law, civil procedure, and public policy. The language of the courtroom, the legal framework, and the policy issues taught her how to approach any complex situation with a calm mind. This experience wasn't just a degree for her. It was mental training. After completing law school, she entered the world of media. Initially, she worked in local TV news. This was a time when there was less glamour and more hard work. She gradually established herself through short segments, court reporting, and covering local issues. Her specialty was explaining complex matters in simple language. Where other reporters might sensationalize news, Savannah presented it in a balanced manner. This is why her reporting began to gain credibility. Gradually, this confidence took her to a larger platform. This confidence led her to NBC, where she joined as a legal analyst. Her job wasn't just reporting, but also providing a legal perspective on major national issues and debates. She covered high-profile cases, constitutional issues, and national debates. Whenever a major legal question arose, her calm and clear interpretation became a constant reference for viewers. Then came the real pressures of Washington. White House coverage, the election environment, Supreme Court decisions, and constant political battles. All of this is no easy task for any journalist. But even under these circumstances, Savannah's demeanor remained the same, balanced and controlled. Even when the situation became heated, her language remained calm. Gradually, her calm under pressure became her hallmark. And then, in 2012, came the biggest turning point in her career. She was appointed co-anchor of The Today Show, one of the most visible and influential platforms on American television. This role gave her new visibility to the entire nation. But here, too, she adopted the same approach that had brought her to this position, asking direct questions and speaking without unnecessary drama. She interviewed presidents and global leaders, but her style was one of clarity, not confrontation. For viewers, it became a voice of trust, a voice that stood out from the noise, steady and balanced. Over time, Savannah Guthrie became more than just an anchor, but a constant symbol of modern morning news. Whether it was an election season, when every word counts, or a national crisis, when people crave reliable information, her role became even more crucial. From the Today desk, she covered many major moments where the focus wasn't just on reporting the news, but also on explaining it accurately. Her interviewing style displayed a distinct strength. She asked direct questions, but never unnecessarily became confrontational. Her legal background was clearly evident, advancing the conversation based on facts rather than emotions. This earned her respect in the industry. However, working on such a large platform also meant criticism. But her work consistently maintained a balance, neither too aggressive nor too weak. Over time, her role at NBC expanded. She wasn't just an on-screen face, but also became a part of major national coverage and important moments. From election nights to national broadcasts, her presence became a symbol of trust. But during this time, a moment came that put her professional life on hold for a while. Savannah had to undergo vocal cord surgery. This wasn't just a medical procedure. It involved the most essential part of her work, her voice. She had to stay away from the screen for a while. It was an unusual break, as her identity was tied to her voice. When she returned, she herself described it as a return with a new voice. This return wasn't dramatic, but rather very human, as if someone had slowed down and started again. And this moment makes her professional journey even more human. That time in 2026 wasn't just a news story for Savannah Guthrie. It became the most difficult period of her life. The news of her mother's disappearance changed everything. As the case became more public, the pressure grew. But this time, she wasn't facing someone else's story, but her own. It was then that she made a big decision, stepping back from her regular on-air work. This move felt abrupt, as a role like The Today Show requires constant presence. But she chose to distance herself from the cameras and be with her family. While this might have seemed like a setback from the outside, it was viewed differently within the industry. People interpreted it not as instability, but as a strengthening of her career. And it was clear that her place wasn't built solely on daily presence. Her credibility and years of consistency remained intact. When she returned, she didn't try to reinvent herself. No drastic changes, no rebranding, just the same calm, composed demeanor, as if her work were her identity. Off-screen, her life moves at a completely different pace in Brooklyn Heights, New York. A neighborhood of classic brownstone buildings, nestled among quiet, tree-lined streets, makes the city's fast pace feel a little slower. Her home is part of that atmosphere, no overbearing or noisy. The small courtyard outside her home is a part of everyday life, a place where family time is spent. The interiors are filled with soft, neutral tones and natural light. The main living area is open and comfortable. It doesn't feel like it was designed for display, but rather for living. The kitchen is the heart of this home, where daily meals, conversations, and small family moments converge. Additionally, there are quiet corners throughout the home, places for reading or relaxing. Overall, it's a space that offers a sense of balance and peace in contrast to their fast-paced professional lives. In a fast-paced city like New York, daily life isn't just about schedules. Movement is just as important. This is reflected in Savannah Guthrie's daily routine. The cars she owns aren't just a symbol of status, but a vital tool for maintaining balance in her daily life. When it comes to family life, her Chevrolet Tahoe plays a crucial role in her daily routine. It serves as a reliable companion to handle her daily tasks. Whether it's early morning schedules, dropping the kids off at school, or getting to the studio on time, the Tahoe's space and stability help her handle each task seamlessly. Its practicality suits a life where professional responsibilities and family needs coexist. But her day isn't limited to family and studio time. There are times when formality and a professional appearance are paramount. At such times, the Mercedes-AMG fulfills this secondary role. It perfectly complements her on-camera persona and public appearances. For high-profile interviews, formal events, or days when everything must be on time and image perfect, the AMG's calm and sophisticated style lends her a professional presence. It also provides a unique balance when navigating Manhattan's busy traffic, where the journey becomes more than just a journey, but also a time of preparation. Net worth stability. Savannah Guthrie's financial story appears to be a story of gradual stability, not a sudden surge. Public reports indicate her net worth is estimated to be around $45 million. This figure isn't the result of a single year or a single major project, but rather the result of years of consistent hard work and a trusted professional position. The largest portion of her earnings comes from NBC, where she co-anchors The Today Show and serves as chief legal correspondent. Her annual salary is reportedly around $8 million. This includes not just her daily on-air pay, but also her responsibilities for election coverage, national events, and major broadcasts. Over the past 5 years, her total earnings from NBC alone are estimated to be around $40 million before taxes and other professional expenses. And this indicates that her income is based not on bonuses or windfalls, but on long-term contracts and a stable role. But her financial picture isn't limited to just her salary. Publishing or books has also made a quiet but significant contribution to her income. She has written children's books and faith-related works, which are estimated to have generated approximately $1 to $2 million over the past few years. This income has come in the form of both advance payments and royalties. In addition, she also earns additional income from brand deals and public speaking opportunities. Over the past 5 years, her combined income from these sources has been estimated to be between $2 and $5 million. Her fees for public speaking, in particular, can sometimes reach millions of dollars for a single event. And if one looks at Savannah Guthrie's annual earnings, it doesn't appear to fluctuate like that of a film star or the entertainment industry. Her total annual income is generally estimated to be between $8.7 million and $10 million. This figure may fluctuate slightly each year, but there are no major sudden changes. The biggest reason for this stability is that her earnings are contract-based. This means her income isn't dependent on a single project or temporary opportunity, but rather on long-term agreements and fixed roles. Her primary contract with NBC is the foundation of her income, which includes regular on-air work, coverage of major national events, and special assignments. Additional sources such as book royalties, brand partnerships, and public speaking also contribute to this annual income. However, these combined don't make her income unstable, but rather create a balanced structure. This pattern shows that her earnings aren't dependent on a single major opportunity, but rather the result of consistently fulfilled responsibilities and long-standing trust. Away from the camera lights and the hustle and bustle of the news desk, Savannah Guthrie's real world resides within her home. She lives a life with her husband, Michael Feldman, and their 2 children that relies more on routine than showmanship. While their day may start early, it often ends in a quiet family atmosphere. Their family life doesn't revolve around big events or social activities, but rather consists of small, everyday moments. Early dinners, going to bed on time, these are all part of their routine. And because the quiet of the night is essential to managing live TV duties in the morning. Instead of late-night parties or erratic schedules, they've chosen stability. Her relationship with Michael Feldman also reflects this balance. Together, they strive to create an environment with their children where home is not just a place to live, but a safe space. Time spent with their children is part of their schedule, not a distraction from it. When work requires travel, she doesn't let it distance her from her family. Often, her trips are places where work and family coexist. Family travel is not just a vacation for her, but an opportunity to soften the line between professional and personal life. In these moments, routines loosen, and experiences become more important. And this flexibility helps maintain a balanced life, where work and home don't clash, but instead create space to complement each other. In today's world, social media often paints a perfect picture, smiling faces, cherished moments, and a life without any complications. But Savannah Guthrie's online space is a little different. Here, glimpses of family life don't resemble scenes from a movie. Moments with his children are sometimes joyful, sometimes chaotic. In some photos, the children don't want to pose, sometimes they appear rushed, and sometimes they reflect the day's fatigue. In other words, it's all just as it is in real life, without filters, without excessive embellishment. These small moments offer a clear glimpse into his life, revealing that his life isn't just for the camera. It's a world where truth prevails over perfection. But even this world changed after 2026. His mother's disappearance shifted his priorities inward. After this, his public life became a little more restrained. Even on social media, he began to show fewer glimpses of his personal life. Whatever messages he shared were deliberate, focused mostly on information, support, and connection. This shift wasn't a sudden distance, but rather an effort to protect his private world. During this period, his public messages appeared more controlled than before. Maintaining a clear boundary between family and personal life became essential. And this boundary became part of her balance. She also maintained connections outside of her family. Savannah has long been involved in support of military caregivers, families who care for their loved ones during service. Additionally, she has maintained connections with organizations that provide housing and education support. In these roles, her presence has always remained out of the spotlight. The focus here is not on appearances, but on staying connected. Her work often involves raising awareness and mobilizing support. Overall, this shows that her public identity isn't limited to the studio. It's also reflected in her quiet engagement with the community. If you enjoy these authentic and in-depth stories, subscribe to the channel now to be the first to see every new story and never miss a single one.